well-established actress in Mexico, and you're very known there. How do you like to be associated with in the acting scene or as a musician now?
Well, I think that I would like to be portrayed as somebody that does a little bit of everything. I think that nowadays we're like with a generation that does all sorts, like goes into different sorts of art, not only music or acting or painting or writing. People kind of like can jump from one thing to the other. So I would just like for people to appreciate the work that I do as a complete body of work, and not just musician or an actress. No.
How do you feel that Feliz No Cumpleaños prepared you for your solo career, if at all?
Well, I think they were definitely part of my school. Like they taught me the first things that I learned about songwriting and about being in a band, about playing live, and definitely gave me a lot of confidence to do what I do. And I kind of polished my lyrics, especially when I was with the band, in order to prepare for doing a solo record.
Motivation or the reasons behind composing an all English album?
I was offered the opportunity by my label to kind of like jump into the English market and try to make a more international record, and I thought it was a really cool challenge, and that I was going to learn a lot, and it was going to make me grow as an artist and as a person, and I definitely think that I did the right thing, and that was kind of like the reason why it was a huge challenge for me, and I wanted to see where it would take me.
And how have fans responded? Because, either way, new fans you're gaining in the U.S. will have a language barrier to your old stuff, but then again, your fans from Mexico have that language barrier. How do you plan to balance that?
Well, I would hope that people are very open nowadays. I mean, we have so much music from all over the world, and I think that the internet, things like that, kind of like have opened barriers and allowed people to listen to music from other countries and other languages. And I would hope that people appreciate or can appreciate both languages. I encourage people to learn more than one language. And I hope that people can relate. I mean, I'm always going to write in both languages. I don't see myself going to writing only music in Spanish or only music in English. I think I like to combine those things and hope that music just translates on its own.
What are the theme differences between Mediocre and Ximena Sariñana?
Well, the theme differences, Mediocre was like my first record, so it's very personal, and I think that the songs were very taken care of, and everything that I wrote was sort of like very mild at first, and I mean, very profound lyrics, and I was bearing my soul, but it was kind of like a little bit nervous lyrics. And I think with this one, it was more about feeling uncomfortable, like moving forward, and kind of like feeling of feeling out of place. And I think that made me write stronger lyrics and write stronger music. Music that was more upbeat, music that was more like, that had an intention from the very get-go, and to experiment a lot more with sounds and with instruments and different vocal arrangements. And I think that was definitely influenced my lyrics and the themes in this record.
So So aside from the language barrier, did you find any other like cultural barriers into crossing over into the American market?
Well, I think it's I mean, just the market is very different here than from the music industry in Mexico. Here it's just a way bigger market, and there's people from all over the world that are used to touring this way, like touring in a more like indie way where you visit almost like so many cities, and you're in a van and you carry your own gear and you drive and you kind of like, it's very like guerrilla, like indie type of touring, and I really like that because I was not used to touring like that, and I think it made me grow so much as an artist, and I got better at my instrument, better at my craft, and I kind of took my works more seriously, and I think that and because there's so many amazingly talented artists, you kind of remind yourself that you have to be doing stuff all the time, and you inspire, you get inspired. I'm really inspired by other people that I've met while working here, and Mexico I think has a lot of talent, but there's still not that the market is just so much more comfortable that it doesn't push you to be that driven, and that affects, I think, the market, and sometimes in a positive, sometimes in a negative way. So it's been definitely like especially like a big learning experience for me to kind of like go get through these obstacles.
So what's been one of your best experiences touring here in the U.S.? Because it seems like you've learned a lot.
Well, one of the best, I mean, I think I love having been able to see the country, see the audiences, get to know all these amazing cities, and I guess the meeting people on the road is always great, like touring with musicians, you get to meet people in a different way. I've gotten to meet great musicians that have really cool bands that that I've had the opportunity to play with, and it's I've learned a lot from them too.
Acting and singing seem like dream jobs. Was there anything else that you ever wanted to do when you were younger?
I always wanted to write. I like writing a lot, being a writer. They're all, I guess, related in one way or the other, and music allows me to do a little bit of writing, and that's great. But it was definitely those three things that I really wanted to do growing up.
And what are your plans for the future?
Well, I'm going to finish this tour until the 22nd of December. I have one show in Mexico City on the 2nd of December. And then next year, I'm going to go to Japan to play. I'm going to play a couple of shows here in the States. I'm going to do a tour in Mexico. And then I'm going to, and then I think I'm going to stop for a while to write again, get ready for a new record.